Hello and good afternoon. I want to share with you today a 4-step meditation process that has had a really profound impact and has sort of developed over the years of me doing meditation for so many years, and realizing that really fundamentally you can boil meditation down to one very simple truth, and that is that all meditations are to be done in the now, and to help you become present to the now and have varying approaches to either getting you into the now or what happens in the now, if it's a sound, vibration, or song, or chant. And we are multidimensional beings. That means that we're all living simultaneously in multiple dimensions. And the challenge in life is trying to manage all of those dimensions at once. And so having a practice that enables you to flow through each one of these sort of dimensions consciously with awareness, and then manage each dimension, or be aware and conscious and then kind of work your way through, is a really powerful way to sort of settle and center and find yourself at every level, and move through as you move your true self through. So here's what I mean. Basically, the ego or the mind is in control of one dimension, and it's very easy to get stuck there, sort of this three-dimensional, mind-controlled realm that we live in, and that it seems like we socialize in and everything else. But this is just one dimension. Then we have our heart dimension, right? We have what's going on with our physical body, and very often we're using words while other things are going on in our body or in our hearts or in our minds. And so you could be in one place, in one setting, and not moving very far or not doing much, yet all these things are going on at once, and you're also trying to carry on a conversation, which is why, there can be these social anxieties or challenges in connecting if we have stresses and worries and fears and concerns and walls and all kinds of things going on in a sort of multi-dimensional space. And so where the ego is in one dimension, working with the mind and sort of controlling thinking as much as possible and surviving and trying to make things happen in one dimension, I look at the soul as sort of the energy manager. So there's the thought manager, or thinking, for the most part, that's done on the ego level, identity. And then there's the heart itself, which harmonizes energy, and the soul, which is sort of the energy manager of awareness, kind of moving in and out of these different dimensions. But ultimately being an energy manager is what I like to call it, or a focus manager, when it's being conscious of itself and where it's putting itself. And so here's the simple meditation. And I talked about this a little bit before, these kind of 4 stages of getting to heart, but there's something you can do specifically in each stage. And so here it is. Brain, observe. Body, relax. Breath, count. Heart, feel. So I'm going to go through that again and explain. Brain, observe. So just observe what's going on in your brain. That's the starting place, because your brain is so overactive, and it's really built for this three-dimensional realm that it functions in, that primarily most of what we see is a product of brain and thinking and relating through thinking and all of that. So the first thing you want to do is you don't want to try to control or change or dominate. Thinking is it's a very powerful energy. It's like a sticky, can suck you in and hold you in, right? Even from the time you're born. So all we want to do is start disassociating ourselves from thinking by observing it. So brain, observe. Just observe what's going on in your brain when you give yourself a little quiet time. And you can go through this process very quickly as you get more aware of how it works, but just observe your brain. And one of the best ways to observe it, either in meditation, or if it's particularly strong and you need to see what's going on in your brain more tangibly, you can write what's going on in your brain. That's where a journal is very useful, or just free writing, you know, all the things that you're thinking. You can also use a mind map. There's apps to do that. There's apps you can do on your computer and just kind of like bubble out all the things that are on your mind, and you know, how does that connect with this? And if you're not familiar with mind maps, you can research, you know, what is a mind map. You can diagram things out, but just getting your mind on paper makes it more real and tangible and can give you a lot of clarity. So there's that option, or the option of just watching your mind and just observing your mind without putting it down on paper. Choose which one works for you. I prefer to do both. Sometimes I just sit and I watch my mind. Sometimes my mind has been particularly active and I need to get clarity, I need to get settled, so I put things down on paper, I write things down. So brain, observe. Body, relax. Typically the brain is the one causing stress to the body. Disease, stress, even fear or overwhelm that gets taken on by the body is a symptom of an overactive mind. So when you go from brain observe, where you're starting to disassociate from these thoughts that are making the body tighten and flex and fear and go into fight or flight, as soon as you disassociate from that by brain observe and just getting it down and realizing, oh, I'm not the brain. The brain's just doing its thing and I'm observing that. Then you can go with your awareness into body relax. No matter what's going on, body relax. Notice what happens instantly when you move from brain observe to body relax. And then just as quickly you can go into breath count. So basically we're just using the body to breathe now, and we're bringing it in almost like a symphony that brings in another instrument. We're bringing the mind back, but this time to engage in being present with the body, and that's why we start doing a count with our breath. So just breathe and count. Count to 10 conscious breaths, for example. And if the mind gets engaged, just observe it, then go back to body relax, and breathe and count through 10 conscious breaths without the mind. So you kind of will move back and forth. Brain observe, body relax, breathe, and count. And now that you've established this presence of being able to count and be with your breath and be with your body relaxed, and anytime your mind starts coming in, to be able to observe and disassociate, it'll be very easy for you to go from breathing and counting to heart and feel. Notice the shift. And the goal is to sustain that. Now, if you bounce out, just notice where you bounce to. Usually it's brain again. You go into thought. You go to brain, observe. What was I thinking about? You become very conscious of all the things you're concerned about or wanting or desiring in a very real way. And rather than just being a product of your brain, you'll be able to observe it and say, is that what I really want? Is that what I really want to think about most of the time? And what is that doing to my body? You'll be much more active in sort of mastering your mind. So brain observe. You can go to your body. Body, it's all good. The brain's just a little overactive sometimes. Relax. Yeah. Body, chill. Breathe, count. How many conscious breaths can I take in a day? And heart, there you are, heart, feel. Remember what I said, the heart is the harmonizer, and the soul is the one that's moving through each of these sort of dimensions, and it's being an energy manager from heart, which is where you can most powerfully manage energy, because everything is being what? It's being harmonized here. So when you're in your daily life, even social interactions, especially social interactions. I've taught and I've worked with so many people through this intense eye contact with them. Oh my God, it's so intense. But just keep taking that energy in. The reason why we don't normally do eye contact and everything is because it's an intense energy, right? But if you just keep taking that energy in, and you obviously want to make the other person aware of, you know, this technique as well, but just keep taking it into the heart, whatever intense energies there are, it'll start feeling really good. If you receive their energy and they receive your energy, and you keep taking the energy in that might have made you tense and keep harmonizing it into your heart, you actually have an amazing interaction even without words. Even try it right now. Just, I'm here connecting with you. I'm taking the energy in. I'm harmonizing. I'm able to stay centered. Take in whatever energy you're feeling, take it in and be centered. I feel like this heart energy can connect beyond time and space, and so if you're feeling something even as you're watching, it's that connection beyond time and space. Just take it in your heart and feel, harmonize. I'll do this with a few more breaths. You might notice the energy intensify here. And remember, if you haven't cleared what's in here from the past, that's gonna be some of the first stuff that comes up. So if it starts coming up and you get emotional and you want to cry, or you want to express something, you want to feel something, just allow that to happen. Remember, part of the harmonizing is also the releasing, the letting go. And after that process, it'll be very easy to go in and use this as a wonderful instrument for harmonizing any future energies, even really intense energies. Keep practicing with me. Just practice. Brain, I've observed you and how you're playing into this. Body, it's all good. I'm gonna relax now. Breath, there you are. Conscious breathing in through the heart. Heart, I feel you. I'm just going to stay centered in this. Now take it from here and grab a friend and practice this with a friend and say, you know, I want to try this 4-stage meditation to help me manage energy better, to master my energy in these different dimensions, and get to the point where you can be totally heart-centered and making eye contact and just taking any tense energies and just harmonizing those energies in the heart. And if stuff comes up, let it come up, let it come out. If it comes out in the form of tears, if it comes out in the form of yelling, whatever it is, just let it out without feeling like you need to act on anything, just letting it flow. And then getting back to just being with your breath and heart feel. And from here you're plugged in. You can get the energy uploads and downloads from your divine self and feel what's true for you and your reality, and you're on the path. From here you've got your best guidance. Try this out, let me know what you think. Let me know what you might struggle with here, and I'll be happy to help. Otherwise, continue to practice this. It is an ongoing effort. You know, it can seem like, this is a lot of work when I'm connecting with someone and I'm being present and I keep taking it into my heart. Yeah, but what else are you going to do? It's a lot of work to have energy chaos. It's a lot easier to have energy flow. That feels good. What a way to connect. Have a wonderful day.